What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk about planting fall onions. Now, this is not something that I can really advocate yet. This is certainly going to be an experiment, so by all means, feel free just to watch and kind of see how this progresses for me. If you want to chime in and you want to try this as well, then hey, go for it. By all means, I always encourage experimentation in the garden, but I will be upfront and honest that I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work. All I know is that I was talking with Haley, who works with us at MIgardener. She actually hosts Root Shoots and Coffee every Tuesday. And I was guest hosting with her might have been about a month and a half ago. And she was telling me how she accidentally planted, or not accidentally, but she accidentally left onion starts in the ground that she had planted. And she left them throughout winter. And then come early spring, she was prepping her beds and she found these nice, beautiful sized onions. Now, we plant things like garlic in the fall for an earlier harvest, like early July or so. We'll pull up our garlic. We plant those in the fall. You plant fall bulbs for things like flowers. So if you're planting fall bulbs, you could also assume that onions are a bulb as well. And so I'm not saying, that I have all the details. She didn't really know what she did right or wrong. She didn't know anything. She just said, hey, this happened, and I think it'd be really cool to do. And I said, hey, I don't see any reason why not, because I love a good experiment. I know you guys love a good experiment, but I also love adventuring in this thing called gardening, which is that sometimes we try things and it doesn't always pan out. And sometimes we try things and it pans out way better than expected, and you end up coming up with a new gardening technique that you can add to the list of gardening things that you already know, and it makes you a more well-versed gardener. Now, I did about 5-6 weeks ago, I started some onion seeds. She didn't mention which ones she used, and so I didn't want to plant the wrong one, so I planted 3 different types. I planted this is a red burgundy onion. This is a brown Spanish onion, like a yellow Spanish onion, the brown skinned onions. And then this is a white sweet Spanish onion. So I've got 3 different types of onions. They're all geared for growing in Michigan. They're all long day onions. And I did prep my bed. I prepped my bed with lots of trifecta, lots of compost. The soil looks incredible. I have to be honest, it's looking better and better every year. I think our garden is the best. The soil is the best that it's ever been. And it just looks incredible. And so, so I prepped the bed, got everything already fertilized and remineralized, ready to accept these onions, just as if I was getting ready to plant garlic. So that being said, come on in close. Let's get these onions planted, and we'll see what happens. And also let me know if you've tried this in the comments box below. If you've experienced this, let me know. I would love to know how this works, if it's worked well for you, just out of curiosity. So the root system looks great on these, by the way. They look so healthy and developed. I probably could have started them, I would say, they've already started kind of bulbing up a little bit. I probably could have put them in the ground even a couple weeks ago, but they look very, very healthy, really, really healthy. And so I'm gonna space these out just as I would normally. I'm not gonna do anything different with my spacing. All that I'm gonna do is just change up the time that I'm planting. So I'm gonna plant my onion sets just as I would in spring. I'm gonna space them out about 3.5 inches apart. And that way I have about roughly 3.5 inches between onions. That way they have nice room to grow and expand. If it ends up successful, we're gonna have a nice full bed of onions. If it doesn't, well, I'll just pull these up and we'll use the onion tops. we'll repurpose them. We'll do something with them. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see how this turns out. Now, a lot of people do ask me this when I'm planting my onions. Luke, how deep do you plant your onions? I make sure to never bury my onions any deeper than the white of the onion. So you have your greens and you have your white. The white is the neck of the onion. The onion is actually going to be a bulb. It's going to expand. And you don't want to plant too high up, because what that can do is the soil can actually compress in and cause your onions to be a whole lot smaller. Also, soil can get in and it can actually rot out the neck of the onion, which can really shorten the life expectancy of your onion. So I'm going to plant my onions no deeper than the what would be the bulb of the onion, the white part of the onion. That's as far deep as I go. Look at these cute little bulbs. That's just in 5 to 6 weeks. Those bulbed up really quickly. My guess is the reason why they bulbed so quickly is because it's late in the season and onions are a bulb. So biologically, they probably started prepping for winter, thinking that they were going to have to survive in those little cell packs all winter. But no, I got you. You're going in the bed. So just an observation. They don't normally bulb up that fast, but they really bulbed up quickly. All right, so I got my white sweet Spanish planted. Now I'm gonna plant out my red burgundy. And I'm not planting all my plants. I'm only planting a few. The reason why is because I only want to dedicate about this much space. It's maybe 6 to 9 square feet or so. I just don't want to dedicate a whole raised bed to something that might not work. I'll only dedicate maybe like 1% of my overall garden to an experiment. And then the rest is stuff that I feel really confident with. So that's just how I garden, but that's why I'm not planting out tons of these, because if it doesn't work, well, it's not gonna work. But if it does, it could be game changing. And then, obviously, then I can ramp up, I can scale up, I can plant a whole lot more next year. So it's all about trial period first, then obviously taking what we learn and going with it. All right, so the final thing I'd ask from you is let me know in the comments box below if you think it's gonna succeed or fail. Even if you've never tried this before, just give me your best guess. It'd be really cool to look back and just look back at everyone's guesses and see what the general consensus was, and to see if the general consensus was right or wrong. I just think it's fun to kind of take a poll like that, because if the general consensus thinks that we're gonna fail and we end up succeeding, how many more things in the garden do we look at as like, I would never try that because it would fail, yet we've never tried it. It's like a kid that says they don't like a food, but they've never eaten it before. I mean, how can you say definitively that it would fail if you've never tried it? And I think that's just part about being open-minded, especially in the garden, is like, be open-minded enough to try everything. Leave room for the what-if scenario, and sometimes experimentation is a good thing. So, yeah, that's about all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to throw a like up there, subscribe if you're not yet already, especially so you can follow along with this journey. Obviously, there won't be a whole lot of follow-ups until probably come springtime, because there's not gonna be a whole lot to follow up on, but if there is something worth following up on, I will follow up on it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. Experiment in the garden every once in a while with only a small amount of space, but do experiment in the garden, and we'll catch you all later. Grow big or go home, everyone. Bye.